The apartheid system in South Africa was indeed a legalized form of racial segregation which took place between 1948 and the mid 1990s in South Africa. It was enforced by the National Party government, predominantly made of Afrikaner nationalists, and the term apartheid itself means apartness. Now, under apartheid, we saw various laws that established a separation between various racial groups in South Africa. During this segregation, the white minority enjoyed superior rights and privileges over the majority non-white. Now, the non-white majority in South Africa included Africans, Indians, and people of mixed race. They faced extreme restrictions and discriminations in various aspects of life. Some examples would be education, employment, resources, food, water, medicine, housing, and political representation as well. Now, during the apartheid in South Africa, various forms of resistance did take place. This included some nonviolent protests by leaders such as Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu, as well as some more confrontational efforts by the African National Congress. The ANC began as a nonviolence resistance, and they later on adopted armed struggle as a means of opposing apartheid. Now, during this time period, the South African government labeled the resistance as acts of terrorism. This was meant to delegitimize the opposition, as well as justify their repressive measures that were being taken during apartheid. Organizations like the ANC were branded as terrorist groups, which led to the arrest and imprisonment of many leaders and South Africans. Now, it's important to note that the word terrorism was used internationally during this time, and their resistance was contested. And some countries, notably those in the Western Bloc, initially hesitated to condemn apartheid, and this was due to their own strategic interests in the Cold War. So we have to remember that all countries do have their own interests at heart at the end of the day, historically. Now, over the years, the global awareness of the injustices being committed grew. Now, this began to add a lot of pressure for the South African government to dismantle apartheid. Now, the resistance and the global awareness eventually culminated in significant international boycotts, as well as sanctions that contributed to the dismantling of the system in South Africa at the time. This led to the first democratic election in 1994, seeing Nelson Mandela as the first elected South African Black president in history. Now, this was a crucial turning point in the nation, and it marked the triumph of justice and equality over a long time and period of oppression and discrimination. Now you know the history of South African apartheid, or a brief history rather, and do with it what you will. Thank you.